Welcome to Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches, the podcast for health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs just like you who are building a business, making the world a healthier place, and designing a first-class life. I'm your host, Kim Foster, MD and certified business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you up-level your strategy and raise your mindset so you can truly thrive and grow your business. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to this episode of my podcast. It is Kim here, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. I've got a great topic lined up for you today. So whether you are out for a run or a walk or commuting to work or whatever you're doing, you are going to love this one. Now, this is actually part 2 of a 2-part series. In last week's episode, we dove into marketing strategy, specifically troubleshooting the issue of why you may not be getting enough coaching clients. Last week, I took a look at 4 different reasons that are commonly underneath this problem. 4 reasons why, as a coach, you may not be connecting with clients and why you aren't getting clients enrolling with you. And today we're going to be moving forward with the next 5 potential reasons. Now, there is no particular order to these 9 issues in total, so it's totally fine to carry on listening to this episode, even if you didn't actually catch last week's episode. But after this one, you're definitely going to want to go back and listen to last week's episode also, just so that you can learn about all 9 key reasons. And more importantly, what you can do to correct whichever mistakes you happen to be making. This is just such a common issue that I hear from people when they join my community or just coaches generally building their businesses. They're always telling me that is the main struggle, is not being able to enroll or get enough clients. And so that's why I, take a look at these issues. These are the common issues that I have identified and that I walk all of my own private clients or women in my group program, Business Academy, through. We walk through these troubleshooting issues and identify which ones are being made, because that is the name of the game. If you can identify where the broken link is, then you'll be able to actually go in there and correct it and then start signing on new clients, which is amazing. That's what we all want, right? Okay, so let's just dive straight on in. And like I said, we are moving on to reason number 5. This is why you aren't getting enough clients. Reason number 5 is that potential clients don't understand what you're selling. So with this, I want you to ask yourself, are you using language that's too flowery or too vague or too abstract? This can be a big problem for coaches, and it's a very common one, because if you're doing this, your potential clients may not have any idea what you are trying to say. And if you make it too hard for people to imagine what results they will get from working with you, they are going to be unlikely to buy from you. And I have to say, coach speak can be a real problem here. When we live in this coaching bubble, we learn a lot of terms that take on meaning for us as coaches, but mean very little to the general public, and more specifically, your ideal clients. That is, unless your clients are also coaches, they will not understand your coachy language. Regular people, like non-coaches, they don't necessarily think in terms of transformation or breakthroughs or releasing things. This doesn't really mean anything concrete to the uninitiated and will basically create a wall between you and your prospects. Plain language is always best. Simple and clear messaging will win out every time. So to figure out whether you are actually doing this, I want you to comb your marketing material and your copy and your website and ask yourself, is there a lot of jargon and a bunch of coach speak? Are you promising to awaken women to their highest potential? Or, things like that. This can be very confusing because people really can't understand what it is that you are talking about. Now, better than doing this yourself, like better than going through your own website and marketing material yourself, is to have a non-coach review your copy and point out the phrases that just don't make sense or that they're just too abstract or vague. Then, if you have identified that you are actually doing this, you can fix it by going through your marketing material and just replacing all that jargon and that coach speak with plain language. Instead of the jargony industry terms, I want you to try to use the exact words and phrases that your ideal client would use. You're not speaking to them in your language, you're speaking to them in their language. And the way to know which words to use is to listen to your ideal client. Go where she is. See what questions she posts about and what are her struggles and her frustrations, and then use those exact words and phrases. For example, if the promise of your program is to help women, quote unquote, release their weight, but nobody who is your ideal client actually says that they want this, then they're not going to know what you mean. So find out, do your ideal clients really go looking for somebody to help them release their weight? Do they search in Google, how do I release my weight? And honestly, if the answer is no, then avoid using that wording. If they would say something more like, how do I drop 10 pounds? Then you need to use that language too. All right, moving on to reason number 6, which is that your pricing is wrong. Okay, this is big. Pricing your offers and programs can be very confusing business. Most coaches struggle with pricing, especially in the beginning. But if your pricing is too high or too low for your ideal client, then you'll have trouble connecting and making the sale. Now, there are many schools of thought when it comes to pricing, which of course can add to the confusion. But the most important thing is that your prices are in alignment with the kind of clients you're hoping to attract and with your brand. For example, if everything about your brand is luxury and high end, but you offer deep discounts and rock bottom pricing, that's just not going to work. The clients who are attracted to you are going to be put off by your flash sales and cheap prices. On the other hand, if your mission is to be super affordable and accessible for many people, but your pricing is out of reach for the average person, then that's not going to work either. Most coaches, especially when starting out, I have to say most coaches undercharge. So there is a good chance that you are doing that too. But the truth is, you may need to stair-step your way up to premium prices as your experience and marketing savvy grows. So to figure out whether your pricing is one of the reasons why you are not getting enough clients, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Am I undercharging because of self-doubt and fear? It's so important that you don't undersell yourself. Another question to ask is whether you have priced yourself too high for what you are actually offering. And also, what kind of feedback are you getting on your pricing? Although there is a caveat here. I don't want you to necessarily use your potential clients' complaints about your prices to dictate whether you have actually got this right or not. And that's because the people that you're attracting currently may not actually be your ideal client. So for more on that, I want you to refer back to reason number 2 that I said last week in last week's episode, and also reason number 9, which is coming up. But take a good hard look at your prices. That really may be the missing link that is blocking a lot of clients from wanting to book with you. Now, if you identify that this is indeed a problem area for you, here's how to fix it. There is, in fact, a sweet spot for your pricing. And to help you discover what it is, I want you to consider 7 key factors that are going to influence your program price. 1 is, what will the market bear? The second is to consider the outcome you're selling. The third is to consider what your ideal clients are capable and willing to pay. Fourth is your personal, your authority and your social proof. 5 is your positioning in the marketplace. That's what I was talking about earlier, that it needs to be in alignment as either a luxury brand or something more affordable or, something in between there. Number 6 factor is to consider the value-added upgrades within your program that help to support more of a premium price. And then number 7 factor is your confidence. Now, I do actually have a free guide on how to price your coaching programs that goes into depth on all of these factors. So I will link that in the show notes for this episode, and then you can go ahead and download that PDF guide. All right, moving on to reason number 7, which is that your target or niche or offer isn't specific enough. Now, in other words, you are presenting too many choices. So, if you are trying to be everything to everyone by offering a smorgasbord of programs and all kinds of packages and products, then this can actually block you from enrolling clients. I know why people do this, of course. It's to try to serve every level of your market, to try to have something available for every type of person who may land on your site. But the truth is, too many options can leave a potential client feeling confused. And a confused mind will not press buy. So I want you to look at your menu of services. Does it list everything about digestive health, and then a program for hormonal health, and then something for weight loss, and then a package that addresses skincare, and then something for stress? And, I think you can see what I mean here. Too many areas will suggest that you don't really specialize in the problem that your ideal client is looking to solve. So they're going to keep looking because they don't actually care if you are a generalist in 7 different areas. They want somebody who is the best at solving their problem. So be specific, get known for your sweet spot, become the go-to person for a particular niche. That is how you will gain some traction. Now, to figure out if you are doing this, if you are making this mistake, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Do I have more than 1 or 2 clear areas of focus on my website? And do I have multiple programs listed without any clear niche? Now, if you determine that this actually is an issue for you, you are going to need to fix it by taking a hard look at your niche and your offers. Are you having difficulty committing to a niche? Do you have too many packages, too many offers? Are you trying to cover all your bases? And then ask yourself, what needs to change about that? How could you streamline your offers? How could you narrow your niche even further and just offer a much more simplified menu of offerings? Okay, moving on to reason number 8, which is you're coming across too desperate. So the opposite end of the spectrum to not making the ask, which is a reason that we actually discussed in last week's episode, is pushing too hard for the sale. And I have to say, it's a delicate balance, and it is a bit of an art form. And it's something that you'll get a feel for as your experience grows. But are you putting too much pressure on yourself to make a sale? That is something a potential client can sense. People can feel your inner motives, even if you think you're being subtle. If you're overly eager or desperate or trying too hard, that is repellent to a potential client. They're going to resist that. And to be honest, they'll run the other way. So here are some signs that you might be pushing too hard for the sale. When you do an honest audit of your email communication, do you realize that you really only email your list when you're actively promoting something? What about when you have conversations with people on Facebook? Do they very quickly drop off and disappear? Or do you have people saying yes on the phone, but then they just don't follow through? They go kind of MIA on you. So if you have identified that you're doing this and your desperation for a sale is bleeding through into your interactions and how you're showing up, here's how to fix it. I want you to ease off on the pitching and the promoting for a little bit and just focus on being of service. Strike a better balance between service and sales. Do more free helping, answering questions on social media, creating more free content without a sales pitch that follows up every conversation. This is going to give you kind of a correction factor and help you breathe a bit of life into your business without so much clenching for a sale. Not only will it relax you because you're taking the pressure off yourself temporarily, it will also relax your community and your prospects because they will sense that you have laid off the hard sell and heavy promotion for a bit. Okay, that brings us to the final reason number 9, which is that you are manifesting the wrong people. Now, admittedly, this one is a bit more woo than the others, but stick with me for a sec, even if you're feeling kind of skeptical. If you know anything at all about the law of attraction, you'll know what I'm talking about here, but I want you to take a look at the type of people you are consistently attracting and check in with yourself to discover why. If the people you attract are always saying things like, I don't have the money for that, or I'm not ready, or that's out of my price range, then it's probably time to take an honest look at your own thoughts, your own words and behaviors. Have you been saying these same things to yourself? When I first started as a coach, I was very hesitant to invest. I was reluctant to get support, and I thought that I could do everything all by myself. And to be honest, this was the type of potential clients that I was attracting to. So I quickly recognized these patterns and started to do some serious internal work. And once I started investing in coaching and training myself, once I started giving myself permission to get outside help and support and mentorship, things really began to click. And that's when I started to attract clients who were of the same mindset. Because what you focus on, you create more of. Now, this one is going to require some fairly deep inner work, plus some detached observation of your own thoughts and inner stories. But to figure out if you're actually doing this, I want you to spend a little time with your journal and ask yourself, what are my thoughts about investing in coaching and mentoring and training? And what do I believe about my ability to get help and support instead of doing everything myself? What are my internal stories about my ability to change and grow and learn new things? And then to fix this one, I want you to check your thoughts and your feelings and your energy. Go to the spiritual gym and begin to fully value yourself and what you have to offer, and allow yourself to invest in your business and your future. I want you to commit wholeheartedly and make success non-negotiable. Because when you cultivate a more enlightened mindset, you're going to attract clients who are a match for that. So ask yourself what needs to change about this. And more importantly, ask yourself, who do I need to be? And for more on that, I want you to go ahead and listen to a couple of episodes back, which was actually all about making decisions and acting from your future self instead of your past self, which is so important. Okay, that was a lot of stuff. Let's just go back and recap those 5 reasons, which again are a continuation from last week's episode when we covered the first 4 reasons. But reason number 5 is that potential clients don't understand what you're selling because you're using too much coach speak or jargon or flowery language. Reason number 6 is that your pricing is wrong. Reason number 7 is that your target or niche or offer just isn't specific enough, or you're presenting too many choices. Reason number 8 is that you are coming across as too desperate for the sale. Reason number 9 is you're manifesting the wrong people. And again, to hear more details about the first 4 reasons, be sure to go back and listen to the companion episode to this one, part 1 of this topic. All right, I hope that helped to give you some concrete things to think about when you're trying to figure out why you're having trouble getting new clients and some specific things to do about this issue. And of course, as always, I would love to hear from you after listening to this. What is one mistake that you now realize that you are making, and what are you going to do about it? I would love to know. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this episode, post it inside your Instagram stories, and tag me at Dr. Kim Foster so that I can see it and let me know. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I always really appreciate you listening and spending some time with me during your day. Stay well and stay safe, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for listening. If you are ready to build a coaching business that gives you freedom and flexibility and allows you to make a meaningful impact in the world, but you're not really sure how to get started or what you need to do to attract the perfect clients and grow your income, then let me be your coach. I would love to teach you my exact framework, my proven method for how I created a freedom-based business for myself and how I've helped dozens of clients do the same thing and create a life that is better than their dreams. Get started by heading over to drkimfoster.com/business training, and there you can sign up for my free online training called The 4-Part Formula for Replacing Your 9-to-5 Income with a Coaching Business You Love.